Hello everyone, this is Gritty Astro, and tonight I wanted to make a quick video because I couldn't get over the idea of what happened to Nicola Bulley, during the 10th of January this year, when there was a call to the police and to the mental health people. They were called upon Nicola's house to make a welfare check. That in on itself really raised my alarms regarding this case, and I wanted to show you because then I thought, okay, I'm going to go and to search for crimes in around Nicola's little town village. It's a very small little village where she used to live. It's really hard for me to say she used to live. For me, it's like where she still lives, But anyway, so she lived in a town called Inskip in Preston, Lancashire, which is just a few miles from St. Michael's on the Wire, where officially everything happened to Nicola. Okay. So I got curious and I said, okay, let's check on the web to see whether I can see details of crimes committed in a precise location in the UK. Okay, so I entered in the UK police website, and I put crimes near Inskip, right? So the web comes up and it shows you like a map, like this one, like the one you're seeing. Sorry for the noise. South America, lots of motorcycles. Anyway, I looked up and started to search for crime in Inskip, in the Inskip area. Okay, so you can search by all crime. So what I did was I searched, here in the first category list. You put all crime committed, and then you put the month and the year. Okay, it starts from it starts from January 2020, and it goes up to February this year. March still not in their database. So what I found really enlightening, or maybe it's just something that raised a big red flag in my brain, that I searched, because this what happened on the 10th of January. I thought, I'm sure this kind of thing has happened in the past, because nothing like this, like what happened to Nicola. What happened to her, me as a woman, I just, my instinct tells me that what happened to her, whatever it was like it was the sum of all the incidents in her life, not just from January 10th, 2023, but from a long time ago, right? Because you don't just vanish, and you don't just, disappear, go missing, and it just doesn't happen from a void. There's always many reasons behind whatever happened to her. And because the police, aided by quote unquote the family, they said they they published all her ailments, like, mental issues, alcohol, menopause, like they really splashed her in a very awful way in the media for all to see. And I thought, okay, if she was like that, provided she was like that, there was a cause. It wasn't just the menopause. Come on. I know what the menopause is. I mean, I'm in around that age, okay? I'm still not fully menopausal, but is I know what they're talking about, okay? And I know it can be a really real struggle. I mean, it's not common to unalive yourself because of the menopause. Come on. I mean, it's like they're throwing women back to the Middle Ages. I was astounded, like, for Nicola's, how they tarnished Nicola's character. They shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have. And I could go on that tangent for a long time, but I wanted to be real precise in this little video, because what I found was really raised a red flag in my brain, okay? Because I'm a woman, and I know women who had been in DV situations. I don't know if you can say those words in YouTube, but I'm not going to say them just in case. It's DV, okay? You know what I'm talking about. I know many women who have suffered DV, and all kinds of DV, like psychological, physical, just, emotional, financial DV abuse. It's just horrifying. And I'm not saying anything because we don't really know who was the, I don't know if it was just that Nicola and Paul were just a toxic couple and they couldn't get out of that toxicity, or Nicola was the toxic one, or Paul was the toxic one. But what I do know is this, and it's just a red flag, which is quite significant for me personally. This number 9 that you see, that's from April 2020, and it's very near to the location of of the residence of Nicola, okay? So it really raised a red flag for me, because on April 2020 there were recorded 9 instances of antisocial behavior reported. It's a crime. And that was in April 2020. And look at the placement of those 9 incidents of antisocial behavior in that place in the map. Just look at it, okay? And just draw your own conclusions. This is not my it's not my objective. It's not to draw conclusions, because it's just to raise the red flags, because there's something more to the story, something that I don't know why, but it's important that we know, because the police are not helping and never did help. The family, worse. It's with the interviews, like, full of lies, and just inconsistencies, and I'm not going to go there because that's another rabbit hole, right? But look at the map. Look at this. This is from May 2020. I mean, I don't know, maybe it has nothing to do, maybe it's probably nothing, but knowing, because I know there's that occurrence on the 10th of January this year, where the police were called, right? That's a big disturbance. I mean, for the police and for the mental health people to be called, there had to be some kind of big disturbance, big argument, like I'm a woman, I have an instinct for those things, because I've seen many women and people in a family who have rows and police are called. It's terrible. And just seeing that, look, in April 2020 there were 9 occurrences in one. And I'm sure that that point of the 9 you see, which is, it means 9 occurrences of antisocial behavior in that little area. That pinpoint, you see, that 9 is not an exact location, but what really raises my attention, my red flags, is like it's so close, to one place in that map. You draw your own conclusions, and it doesn't make any sense that that number there, like which means the number of crimes committed in a month in a certain year. It doesn't make sense that it's there on the B5269 avenue or whatever, because that's a main street and there's nothing there. You see, there's no houses in that point exactly, but if you look at the map, you see things that raise flags, red flags. So one occurrence of public order. Public order is like a disturbance where like a ruckus on the street, I think, and like a public order offense must be when you're in public, like outside of your house, and there's like a big row, big fight, and the police are called. Okay, so that in the same spot, November 2020, there's an occurrence of public order offense. Then you go look here. In May 2022, there's an occurrence of one violence and sexual offense. There were 4 in May 2022 in the whole area, but in that particular pinpointed area that you can understand what I'm talking about, there's in the same place, May 2022, there's violence and sexual offense. Now, and it's always in the same spot, right? I could be wrong. I could be, yes, because the police is not going to tell you exactly where that occurred, obviously. The police wouldn't do that, would they? Because normally these are private offenses, like within the household. Who's gonna have a row there in the middle of the street and in a little village in the middle of nowhere? Come on, man. It's just in a household. So look, the ones that I found are these ones. So April 2020, 9 in the same point. Look, the same point. Look at all these offenses, criminal offenses, whereby the police were called and a case or an investigation was deployed or whatever was made within the police. This isn't like minor, tiny things. These are like red flag things, like where police like really get into action. And antisocial behavior, public order, and violence and sexual offense, right? And looking at the May 2022, which is the violence and sexual offense, which is in the same spot there in that place in the map in Inskip, the police were unable to prosecute the suspect. This could be for several reasons, e.g., the prosecution considered there is insufficient evidence to provide a realistic prospect of conviction. And the police actions, the crime was reported, who knows by whom, probably, I don't know, by a neighbor. And then May 22, police actions under investigation. This crime is currently being investigated by the police. And then they were unable to prosecute the suspect because there wasn't insufficient evidence. So, and this is a violence and sexual offense. What do you think that relates to? What that could be? I'm just like bewildered by this information I just, came upon. And this is all public records by the police of the UK, okay? I'm just researching public records. And because I thought, look, antisocial behavior, 9 incidents on April 2020. I don't know if Nicola lived there on April 2020, but I think they did. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many years they have been living in that house, but it's... I mean, it just... Because it's always in the same spot, up until May 2022. And it's interesting because if you search for the 10th of January, like for the January 2023 event, there's nothing. I mean, there is nothing in that same spot. In that spot, there's nothing for January 2023, when the police were called to Nicola's house. And they said no arrests were made at that time. So, I mean, it's such a big... It's like this case is ripe with red flags all over the place. I just have this instinct that the 10th of January welfare check wasn't the first interaction with the police, And this research in the police.co.uk page really is like, I don't know what to think. Maybe it's another person. I mean, but the fact that the points are there in the same spot all the time, in the same spot all the time, it's like, it's too much. It's too much of a coincidence, I don't believe when something in my instinct tells me, when I don't believe in this kind of coincidences, because the police had already gone there. It's in the media. The police have said it, but that incident is not in this website, which really raises my attention again, because why, if that was a police matter, maybe it wasn't a crime, that is why it's not here recorded in this in the police records here in this website, in this map. But it's weird, right? Why isn't it? I mean, wasn't there committed a crime? Wasn't a crime? Why were the police called there? But then you don't have that on this police map of incidents. But you have the other ones in the past, And if the one of 10th of January wasn't recorded here, wasn't worth of recording here, who knows how many more of those welfare checks were, like, who knows how many more of the welfare checks occurred, If you can see this, and these like really serious things happening in this place, and the 10th of January doesn't appear here, who knows how many of those welfare checks were, taken by the police, right? So it's very, very strange. This is very, very strange. For me, it's extremely... this is extremely worrying. I'm very worried about, because nothing is clear in this case. There's so much under undercurrent here. There's so much stuff, bad stuff, under the surface of this case. We who are interested in this case, we all know that, we all feel that there is so much creepy, bad vibes and bad things that are under the surface of all this mess, And you may ask, why am I doing this? I mean, I'm just someone from South America. Why did I take such an interest in this case? Well, because of the same reason as you did. It doesn't matter where I am in the world. This case, grabbed my attention the same way it grabbed yours. There's something wrong here. And I'm doing this for Nicola. I'm really doing this for Nicola. Because I'm a woman and I really, really feel for her. Because I do not like some of the characters in this Agatha Christie play, quote unquote. I think they are shady. They are not forthcoming. And Nicola is no longer with us. She cannot defend herself. I mean, what happened? We want to know what happened. I'm sick of all these lies, It's like something is telling us, we need to find what happened to her, but not because only just for her, but it's like a watershed moment, like for all women, because something it's rotten here. So yes, this is a little I don't know, just like a question mark, just like an instinct, just like a red flag. It's just a question mark, nothing else. So have a great evening or morning, wherever you are, and talk to you soon. God bless you. Bye.